Hey, Mahal everyone! Welcome back again to the Broadway Saiyan YouTube channel. I'm your host 40 and we are back with another video on Dissidia, Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be discussing a topic that tends to be asked a lot when it comes to these type of games, which is, what do I reroll for? When is the best time to summon? How should I be spending my gems? Things like that. Now, I know this topic has already been covered by several other YouTubers out there, and they're all great videos, so kudos to all of those, content creators out there who have been trying to help the community out and helping, new players and veteran players as well for this global version of the game on, on how to spend their gems and what weapons to reroll for and things like that. Now, I just felt like I should give my 2 cents on that topic, and just a little bit of a disclaimer, I don't claim to be an expert on this. This is just my opinion based on, from playing, not just Final Fantasy Dissidia, but like other gacha games out there, on, how I would be summoning or how I'd be re-rolling and things like that. Before I go ahead and get into this video, I do want to give you guys a few reminders. Don't forget to check the links on the video description as well as the pinned comments, because I do leave a lot of great communities for this game out there that you guys should check out and join. As well as, do not forget that I'm also still doing that giveaway to one lucky winner, and that lucky winner is going to be receiving a copy of Dissidia NT for PS4, which also includes the code to be able to get some really cool items in Dissidia Opera Omnia. So that contest is going to be running all the way up until February 12th, and I will be leaving the link to that contest giveaway video on the video description below, as well as the pinned comments. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, the first question that I want to address is, when should I summon on this game upon starting it? Now, this game has already been out for 2 days, and for me personally, okay, so this is the banners. Me personally, I would wait to summon after you have completed Chapter 1. Now, let's go ahead and go into the quest here, just so we can look at the Chapter 1 map. Okay, so Chapter 1, Primus Island. Let's go to normal. Okay. So as we all know, after you clear 1/4 of Chapter 1, you are given a tutorial summon ticket, which allows you to pull one of 3 5-star weapons, and it's at random. So you either get Rem, Warrior of Light, or Vivi's weapon. So whichever one you want to go for. On a previous video, I did recommend that Warrior of Lights is the best, but whichever one you like, whichever one is your favorite character amongst the 3, by all means go for that. I don't want to control, or let you, I don't want to influence you guys on which one that, you should go for. Go for what you think is best for you, okay? So, this is Chapter 1, okay? The last stage is stage 1-9, which is the final boss, is a behemoth. And after completing Chapter 1, you are rewarded with 10,000 gems, and that 10,000 gems can be redeemed on the mission screen right over here. Okay, you redeem that, and you get 10,000 gems. And you also get a bunch of other gem rewards, for completing, specific tasks. And also, don't forget, you will rank up a few times while you're playing through Chapter 1, okay? And for each rank up, you get 100 gems. And don't forget the gems that you also get for clearing, the story dialogue, and as well as the different missions for each stage. So upon doing all of that, clearing Chapter 1, and also redeeming getting the pre-registration rewards, which is the 5,000 gems, plus every day for 20 days, since the release of this game, they're giving out 300 gems per day, you should come out to about 18,000 gems, okay? And that's where I feel like is the best time to summon. Now, I know there's some people that are like, well, I can't wait, I just want to summon. Again, it is entirely up to you, but for me personally, I didn't even look at the banners until I was done with Chapter 1, because I wanted to see just how many gems I can get after clearing Chapter 1, okay? So you're given about 18,000 gems after you clear Chapter 1. Okay, so that's in my opinion is the best time to start summoning, okay? Now, let's go ahead and answer a few more questions regarding summoning. So, we're gonna go ahead and shift scenes here. Alright. Sweet. Alright, so the first question is, how should I spend my gems post Chapter 1? Okay, well, I divided this into 3 different kind of categories, okay? So you guys can kind of decide, based on this, okay? So, I love my Final Fantasy and want to go all out, okay? So you want to spend as much as you can from all those gems. So my recommendation for that is do the All-Star discounted multi, because that is 2,500 gems for a multi that guarantees you a 5-star. Okay, so you're gonna do that on the All-Star banner. And then afterwards, do one 5K, I put their discounted multi. It's not discounted. Do one 5k multi on the All-Star banner. Okay, so do one from there. And the reason why I would do another one is because it pulls from 25 different weapons, so you can get a variety of weapons. And who knows, you might actually, you know, get a weapon for a character that you like. And then afterwards, do 2 multis, which is 10,000 gems total, for the featured Cloud, Warrior of Light, and Bart's banner. And the reason why I say 2 is because you're only competing with 3 5 stars that are at a rate up, and honestly, all 3 of them are good, especially 2 of them are stand out to me, which is the Cloud weapon, the Organics, and the Warrior of Light Enhancer. Okay, and also their equipment, their 4-star equipment, is also at a slight rate up on that banner, so it's a great banner to pull on. So that's if you want to go out and you love your Final Fantasy. Now, what if I love my Final Fantasy and I'm a little stingy? At least do the All-Star discounted pull, the 2,500 gems, and do 1 multi on the featured Cloud, Warrior of Light, and Bart's banner. That would be my recommendation on that. And then what if I love my Final Fantasy and I'm super stingy and just want to wait for the future because, you know, I've played the JP version and I want to wait to see those come out. At most, just do the All-Star discounted pull for the best value, because honestly, you're pulling from a variety. There's a chance that you could get more than 1 5-star, okay? So that would be my recommendation on that. All right, now, let's go ahead and get to this question, which is, what do I re-roll for, okay? So, honestly, if you ask me personally, I do not like re-rolling, because for me, having to constantly reinstall the game or clear the data and never get through until I get that perfect re-roll, for me, it's not fun. Now, I know for some people out there, they have a lot of fun with it, because it's kind of like going to the card store and like opening a booster pack and being like, oh, am I gonna get that? Am I gonna pull that rare card? There's just something about that that's fun, and I get it. But for a game like this, honestly, I just want to keep moving forward with the story. Right? Because if you think about it, this game was released to kind of pay homage to all of these characters that we love, especially those of us that grew up with, like, you know, the old school Final Fantasies from like FF1 or FF2, FF4, all the way up until, you know, Final Fantasy now. And for me personally, if I constantly keep re-rolling and constantly paying attention to tier lists and what is going to be coming out in the future, it's not fun for me. I want to enjoy what is out now. I want to enjoy, you know, what they're giving us now. And besides, the game is only, what, a little less than 2 days old? You know, let's enjoy the game for what it is, all right? But if you're one of those people that really care about tier lists, that really care about re-rolling, I'm going to go ahead and answer that question for you. Okay, so I'm gonna be giving you guys a list of weapons that I feel like are really good. Now, I do want to give a special shout out to a really good buddy of mine named Marc Chaser, who also went by the name Cookie on the Japanese Dissidia Discord back then. He is extremely knowledgeable, and a lot of the weapons that are featured that I'm going to be mentioning here were recommendations from him. So super big shout outs to him. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and I did put a little bit of my own personal flavor to this list as well. Okay, so what do I re-roll for if I care about tier lists and things like that? Okay, so the first weapon that I recommend is the Deathbringer for Dark Knight Cecil. And Deathbringer is amazing because it boosts Cecil's darkness ability, which his ability drains a little bit of HP, and then he deals a brave attack to all enemies. And if you think about it, if you brave break like multiple enemies, that's an insane amount of brave that you are adding to all of your party members. He's also super valuable when it comes to doing multiplayer, because he can essentially be like an aggressive brave battery for your team, as long as you know you're brave breaking them, right? And then his darkness is further boosted by this weapon. So this is one weapon that I would definitely recommend. Okay, and let's go ahead and move forward. Enhancer, Warrior of Light. Me personally, I feel like right now Warrior of Light is the best character. I know some may argue and be like, no, you're wrong, he's not. But for me, he is. He is such a lifesaver, not only in solo play, but for multiplayer. Like, if I notice that an enemy is about to target an ally, and that ally can be brave broken, boom, Shining Shield, protects him from that brave attack. You know, just super valuable. You know, this is why I feel like Enhancer should be mentioned on this list. Now, the next one is Wing Sword for Firion. And you guys are probably wondering, Firion's weapon, why? Okay, so I'm going to mention a little bit of a future content that's going to be coming out. So later on, we're going to be getting something called Esper Trials, and the first one is going to be the Ifrit Esper Trial, and it's going to be quite difficult. Reason why Firion's weapon is recommended to go for is because he can self-sustain himself. So he can essentially be like a tanky DPS unit. He can be dishing out a lot of damage, and he's self-sustaining his HP. He can actually keep himself alive, which can be very, very good clutch, especially, right? So this weapon is recommended for him to roll for, and he can also work well with like a Brave battery on your team, such as Ishtola, because she can constantly, you know, boost his Brave, and then he can constantly be using, you know, this attack. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. Of course, I have to mention Cloud Strife, our favorite Super Saiyan guy from Final Fantasy VII. His Ogrenix gives a rate up for his paralysis, and it also gives a brave boost to his cross slash. He's a great character, great damage dealer, and the ability to be able to potentially paralyze an enemy and delay their turn is just super valuable. So this is why Ogrenix is on this list. Next one is, yes, Van, Platinum Sword. So Van, even up to now in Japan, is an amazing DPS damage dealer. Platinum Sword just further improves his red spiral attack, and as we know, both of the abilities that Van has, after you use them twice, they upgrade themselves on the third use, which they deal 5 hits. And the cool thing about Van's abilities is that they deal magic damage, and there are some enemies that resist physical damage, so the fact that he deals magic damage with his ability is really, really cool, and the fact that after 2 uses those abilities get buffed is even better. So he's just an insane DPS unit. Alright, let's go ahead and move forward. Alright, so this one is a little bit of my personal flavor, but I really think Ida's weapon is worth rolling for, and the reason why is because her Snap Punch is just nuts. She hits like 5 times, she does 5 brave attacks, and then finishes with an HP attack, and then not only that, but then she gets an attack up and a speed up boost to herself. So she's like a really fast, hard hitter, and if you see like an enemy that's stored up a lot of brave, there's a potential chance you can use Snap Punch, because remember, the first hits are brave attacks, so you have a potential to actually brave break them and then land that HP attack and deal a lot of HP damage to them. So this is why I recommend Ida's weapon. Next, yes, Penello's weapon, Aura Halcom Dirk. The reason why is Penello gives haste, which allows your characters to have a speed up so they can take their turns more frequently compared to the enemy. And this is very, very good in paired with, like, let's say like Dark Knight Cecil, because Dark Knight Cecil isn't a very fast unit, so this is very valuable to him. And also it buffs allies attack for 4 turns by 1, so that is really, really good. She works very well having 2 high DPS damage dealers, especially if they're kind of slow, so this is why I recommend Aura Halcom Dirk. Alright, keep moving forward, and the last one that I have to mention is Zidane, because Stellar Circle 5 is such a good ability. It does brave attacks, and it also lowers their speed, and then it also ups your own speed, which is really, really good. So another way to, you know, get a brave break off on enemies, and also get that speed down and speed up on yourself. Alright, so that is going to be it on covering this topic. Again, guys, you know, I don't claim to be an expert on this. I did mention that disclaimer that this is just my 2 cents on this topic of rerolling and how to summon and how to, you know, spend my gems, okay? If you have any other suggestions, or, you know, if you feel like, you know, there's something that I missed or anything that you want to add, please, you know, respectfully add them in the comment section below. I want to know what your guys' thoughts on how you approach this topic, and hopefully this video helps you guys out. Thank you again for watching. I am the Broadway Saiyan. My name is 40. Stay tuned for the next video, and Mahal, everyone.